Hey everyone, my name is Megan and this is Painted and Distressed. Today, my video is still part of my fall series and I am collabing with Sandra from DIYs at the Schwowin'S Nest, and we are taking 4 of the same Dollar Tree items and making some DIYs for you. This first project, I am going to be making a wreath using this wood pumpkin cutout, and this is number 1 of the same item that we're going to be using. And so I just traced it out using this scrapbook paper I got in a pack from Hobby Lobby. And of course, I'm just attaching it using a big old glue stick. And then to ensure all of the edges are cohesive and to give a nice finished look, I always use sandpaper just to make sure it all looks nice and cohesive. And then I take this metal sign that says welcome from Dollar Tree, and I'm just painting it using Folk Art Cottage White. And I do end up taking some light gray paint and distressing it a little bit. Now here is the difficult part. So I take this wreath form and I actually take it apart and I only use the biggest round. However, I would suggest using one of these from Dollar Tree. They sell it in a 3-pack and use the biggest round, and then you can cut it using wire cutters, because that was a huge pain in the butt that I did. And they do sell them in a pack of 3 on their website, and I have linked it down below. So now I'm taking these wood beads from Dollar Tree, and if you see in the corner in that little basket there, it's just those colorful beads in the crafter's square that I had spray painted. And I like them because there's different sizes. Yes, it's a pain to spray paint them. I just put them on a skewer stick and I just spray paint them, and it's, it works fine for me. And then I'm just attaching them using the smallest to largest, so that way on either side it's equal. And then I just wrap the stem a little bit with some twine, and that way I can hang it onto our wreath form. And so to put the wreath form back together so all the beads don't go flying off, which by the way they did, I am just going to wrap the entire bottom part using twine. And surprisingly enough, this does reinforce it and it stays together, nothing comes apart. I do add a little extra hot glue there just to make sure, but I actually made this same exact wreath last year, and it's still together to this day. I have no problems with it. And this also, because we're going to be attaching some flowers to the bottom of it, so this does also help attach the flowers easier. And so once I got to the other side, I just wrapped it around a few times just to match the other side, and then we were done. I just kind of trimmed off a few of the extra little scraggly hairs just because I wanted it to look a little nicer. But this stuff is definitely not necessary. I know some people use lighters, but I have tried that and I have started fires, and that's scary. So anyways, I'm taking these burlap sunflowers from Dollar Tree. They're all from Dollar Tree except this big one right here that I'm hot gluing down. That is from Walmart, but all the other ones are from Dollar Tree. I just cut off the stems and put them in bunches of 3, hot glued them together, added a couple of their leaves, and then now I attached it all together, and then now I'm just attaching it to the wreath form. If you do want some added stability, you can use zip ties or even floral wire. But I just use hot glue and call it a day because I haven't had any issues with it falling apart, but, And then of course I did add just a tiny little floral wire to the top for a hanger, and then this project was done. this next project, I'm taking this round sign from Dollar Tree, and at first I thought I was going to try to take the paper off. Well, that paper was stuck on there. There's a lot of glitter and all kinds of stuff. So
2 hours later,
I decided to wrap it. Obviously it wasn't 2 hours later, but that's how far I got in like, I don't know, it took way too long. So I'm taking this roll of paper, it's like shiplap that actually was from Dollar Tree, and a big old glue stick, and I just glue it on there. Originally I was gonna just use this as the backing of this sign and use some scrapbook paper on the other side, which you will see a little bit later, but I actually liked that shiplap, so we use it. So for our second of the same that Sandra and I are using is this palette, this wood palette pumpkin. So this, I'm cutting mine apart because there was a lot of glue, globs of glue in between, and it was uneven as well. So I just take out my handsaw and miter box and I just take it apart. And this wood is very thin, so you do have to be very careful not to split it and stuff like that. And it does have reinforcement on the back, like very thin wood. And I just took like not a spatula, but a paint scraper, and then I just got the entire backing off. And so I'm just kind of cleaning up the edges now, just to make sure there's no rough edges, so I can get it ready for painting. And so I take this dark blue paint that I mixed together. I've used it in several videos now. It's just Michael's Craft Smart paint mixed with some apple barrel burnt umber and a little bit of Waverly black or Waverly ink. And I'm just painting it, and then I'm just kind of wiping it off a little bit just so I can still see the wood grain through. And then once that was all dry, then I'm taking some craft sticks that I cut down. I would recommend using the jumbo ones, but I didn't have any on hand, so I just cut up a few. And I still wanted the back to look a little nicer, even though you're definitely not going to see it. And since we are going to be hot gluing this to that round sign, you technically don't have to do this part, but I wanted to, just to make sure, you know, just to make it easy on myself. And the wood was a little warped in some spots too, so I just added a few extra craft sticks to the back. And I just cut them using my miter shears. And I do have those linked down below. They are from Amazon, and they are a must-have to have in your craft stash. And then of course this would not be one of my videos without distressing something, so I just take some Dollar Tree sandpaper and I just distress it, especially in with those grooves and the slats of the wood. I wanted to make sure to highlight that, so I just sanded all that down. And then I took this metal Thankful sign that is from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just like the other one, just painting it using Folk Art in the color Cottage White. And I distressed this a little bit as well, just like I did the other one, with just some gray paint. And then once it was dry, we're going to attach it to the pumpkin. Because this is metal, be very careful when you're hot gluing. You can most definitely use super glue or E6000 to do this. I know a lot of people have trouble with attaching this using hot glue. I haven't, but anyways, then I use about a half a stick of hot glue and attach it to the wood round. And then of course I need a hanger for it, so I just took some wood beads I got from Amazon. Those are linked down below as well. And I just used some twine and attach it. So let me tell you about Sandra. I'm sure every single one of you already know about Sandra from DIYs at the Schwowin'S Nest. I have watched her for quite some time now, and Her channel is filled with so much inspiration. I've recreated several of her projects way before I even had a YouTube channel, and I reached out to her just to see if she would be willing to collab with me, and she was so sweet, and oh, I cannot believe it. So make sure you check out her channel. It is linked down below, and her video to see what she made using the same items from Dollar Tree, and let her know that I sent you, and give her a big hello. I'm sure every single one of you knows about her channel because it is amazing, and she is so creative, and the things she does with wood, and oh my gosh, I can't say enough good things about her. She's one of my favorites for sure. So thank you so much, Sandra. I am honored that you are collabing with me today. Okay, so once we attached our hanger, I did use some masking tape on the back just because this is a little heavier, and with hot glue just to make sure it stays on. And then I just took some ribbon. Most of it's from Dollar Tree. The blue and white check is from 99-cent only store. And then some hula skirt. And then I just made a simple bow because we all know my bow game is terrible. And then I'm using these metal leaves off of an apple sign from Dollar Tree. And then I did use some white wax just to kind of age it a little bit. Use some hot glue. That got very hot because it is metal, so be careful with that. And then I just attached the bow to the top. And this is how it came out. I would love to know what you guys think. This next project is probably my favorite. And so I'm going to take this Dollar Tree crate, and then this little wood shop race car had some wheels in it. My friend Lynn from Hot Mess and Hot Glue, she told me about this kit that has these really cool wooden wheels. So I thought it'd be perfect because we're going to be making a little wagon. So I take some Rust-Oleum. It's something pecan. I will definitely have it linked down below. And I just stain the entire crate and the wheels and the inside of the crate as well, as you can see. And then I take this super long skewer stick from Dollar Tree. They had them during the summertime, or the beginning of the summer. And then I just cut it down so I can make a handle. And then I'm just using the Waverly antiquing wax to stain it. And then I also use that on the wheels. And then I go over, because the stain was a little orange for me and on the crate. And so I just wanted to tone it down just a little bit and kind of age it too. And then, so I also cut down the skewer stick to make for the wheels. I could have hot glued them to the sides of it and just called it a day of the crate, but I wanted it to be a little bit more realistic, and you know, I wanted to be able to roll it. I wanted it to move, and so I'm just staining it, even though you won't be able to see it, but you know, I just wanted a finished project. So now I'm just putting it into the wheels. I guess this would be the axle. And then I just liked the look of this better. But there's so many different things you can use for these, but this is just what I was able to find using all Dollar Tree products. And so I just took hot glue and then some masking tape, which is a great way to make sure that the hot glue does not come apart, is to use masking tape. I use this a lot of times, especially when I make wreaths or like wood round wreaths when they're really heavy. And this is for a hanger, and this is a great way. And then now we're just going to put together the handle. And of course, it's not going to stick together just using hot glue. And so I just take some twine and I just wrap it around just to reinforce it a little bit more, because that, and you know, that there's no way that would have stuck. Yes, you can use, you know, E6000, you can use super glue, you can use wood glue, but I liked the extra detail that the twine gave as well. So then our third item that we're going to be both using are these super cute wood apples. So I just take some Waverly chalk paint in lacquer and I give them all one good coat. And then I also stain the stems. I think I just used Waverly antique wax. And then the fourth item that we are both using are these super cute sunflowers from Dollar Tree, of course. And then they're a little bright for my taste, so I just take some white wax and then I just dull them down a little bit. And then now we're going to be, while those items are drying, we're going to attach the handle. So I just did a big old glob of glue, probably about half a stick of glue. Hot glue, and then of course the masking tape. You're not going to see it because I just used an entire package of the Spanish moss to fill up our wagon. And it does roll. And then also for our wagon, it needed a little sign or something, so I just took this pack of wood words from Dollar Tree and I'm painting it using that same blue mixture. And of course, as always, I have to distress it just a little bit to give it an aged look. And then I'm also, of course, once the apples were dry, then of course I had to distress those as well. And then to give them even more of an aged look, and plus the red was way too bright for my taste, to dull them down, I just am using some white wax again. And I'm also adding some white wax to the Farm Fresh sign. And then I just hot glue that to the front of our wagon. And then these little pumpkins are pumpkin picks from Dollar Tree. I think you get about 10 in a pack or so. And then I just decided to kind of just attach two together just to give it a little height. And then I'm also adding some of those wood acorns from Dollar Tree. And I just did the same thing as I did with the apples. And then I'm adding our little sunflowers as well. And then this is how it turned out. And I would love to know what you think of all the projects we made together today. Thank you so much to Sandra for collabing with me. It's such an honor. And thank you all so much for being loyal subscribers and for watching this video in its entirety. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you stay tuned because there is going to be a big giveaway once we reach 1,000 subscribers. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.